Hey, so today we have a special video. We have an interview with StrokeTN from CIK. He is one of the officers, one of the leaders of CIK, and we're just going to be asking him a couple of Planetside questions and see what is in the brain of this powerful warrior. So Stroke, how did you first hear about Planetside 2 and kind of get into it?
Um, so I first heard about Planetside. I used to play a game called World of Tanks pretty competitively, and I made a couple friends through World of Tanks. And one of those friends actually got me into Planetside, and he was from the West Coast. I happened to be from the East Coast, so that's how I kind of got involved on Connery specifically. I'm actually from the East Coast, but I've been found my home here with some of the West Coast guys. They've taken me in their tribe, so it's been pretty sweet.
Nice, nice. And when you first loaded up Planetside 2, what was like your first battle, like your first day, battle rank 1?
Oh man, my first battle. I just remember thinking the scale of it was pretty ridiculous, and I just wanted to do really well and learn. I kind of saw the game as a really blank template for myself, and I don't know. I really enjoyed the actual aspect of the game. I played solo and with a buddy or two that I knew outside of Planetside prior. For the first couple months, I didn't really do any coordinated public platoons or leading or being led. We just kind of went around and experimented with all the classes and vehicles and had a good time. And for the first, I'd say year or two, maybe not the first year or two, but like for the first year or so, I was completely satisfied with what Planetside 2 had to offer as a game. And back then there wasn't really much of anything. No construction, no outfit wars, no bastions. It was just experimenting with the classes and yeah, I had a blast for about a year just learning the game and the vehicles and how the mechanics worked.
Nice. And then how did you first encounter CIK after you got kind of tired of the solo play?
So I was actually, of all things, running in a max suit. I know a meme there, but I was in a max suit and I was caught out in the middle of an open field. And yeah, I think I was running around a boulder and there was like an enemy sunderer or something chasing me. And CIK armor ball came rolling by, destroyed the enemy sundy, and picked me up. And the person that picked me up, I believe that was yeah, it must have been Taken that was in that bus, and that was about 4 or so years ago. Taken was one of the original founding company commanders of CIK, and he got me in the outfit. And then from there, I just kind of rose up the ranks.
Nice. Kind of ironic, don't you think, that your first encounter with CIK was an armor group?
It was an armor group, and I was in a max suit. Two things that we don't do at all.
Yeah. And then what made you decide to join when you got in that Sunder Taken? Did you have an inspirational speech, or were you just like, oh, this is cool?
No, there wasn't really anything inspirational. I remember I was listening to the song "Black Betty" by Ram Jam. It was a pretty catchy song, and I remember kicking ass with them the whole time. And CIK is the only outfit I've ever been in, so um, you know, I didn't really have any sort of a baseline to go off of. I joined CIK. I thought it was the best thing ever, and I still think it is the best thing ever. Since then, obviously, things have changed drastically. We've worked things around with the leadership and what the outfit's focus is and everything. We've had people come and go, and people assume new positions. But yeah, I'm happy to be with CIK.
That's great. That's great to hear. So, do you have any like fun Planetside 2 or CIK stories kind of from that time when you first started playing? Like back when you were a cadet, do you have any like fun stories?
Fun stories. I'm trying to think. I remember encountering with Taken. I remember encountering this one guy that was a complete lunatic, and I just remember trolling him for the entire duration of 2 hours with Taken, just kind of laughing in a different channel the entire time while I was interacting with him. I think I was interacting with him on squad comms, and Taken and I were like giggling to each other in outfit comms or something. So the guy that we were trolling couldn't hear us, and I just remember Taken was leading a whole platoon, and we had such a good time trolling this guy that he completely stopped leading and just dropped everything, and the entire platoon was literally just listening to me interacting with this one guy and just kind of baiting and trolling him. So it was pretty funny. Definitely not encouraged. Definitely, it was all fun and shits and giggles. It wasn't any sort of malicious trolling and that sort of a thing, but just messing around with the guy, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Nice, nice. So I got another kind of serious question for you here. Do you have any goals for CIK in the future now that you're an officer in such a prominent position in the community?
Goals for CIK in the future. Well, I think now we've grown to a pretty large size, and I think it's kind of important for us here to condense our resources that we have at our disposal, if that makes any sense. I feel like we need to kind of shift away from recruitment and shift more towards making the players that we already have the best possible versions of themselves. Really trying to get those people into their leadership positions, people that haven't really been leading in the past but are interested in it, roll out trainings, and just kind of take the basis that we have, take the core group of players that we have, and kind of build them up and get them working as a cohesive unit. I think we've done an excellent job at that so far. I think right now we're certainly a force to be reckoned with. We always have been, and we're still on an upswing. I don't want to say that we've peaked or anything, because if we peak, then the only way to go is down. So we're definitely on a huge upswing, and I don't foresee us, going down anytime soon. I think we're only going to get better as time progresses here, especially now that we're coming up on summer, and a lot of our younger members are going to be off of college obligations and school obligations and that sort of a thing. If anything, I'm going to expect a surge in the consistent population increase, especially on off nights. And I think on op nights, players are kind of in the zone. They're listening to orders, doing that sort of a thing, and kicking ass in a cohesive unit. But I think on off op nights, on those non-official CIK ops, so any other days besides Wednesdays and Fridays, I think those kind of more casual ops, where players have the opportunity to kind of mingle with each other, get to know each other, what classes they like to play styles, etc. I think that's where the real bonding in CIK is kind of occurring, where the real growth is occurring. And I think that on Wednesday and Friday ops, we really get to show off all the new things that we've learned on the off nights and that sort of a thing.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think a lot of our members will appreciate the additional training you're thinking about doing, and I think that'll go really well. I definitely think we're on a huge upswing as well. So I have another serious question for you here. What are your thoughts on the outfit wars? It's a very controversial topic in the Planetside community right now. What do you think about like the qualifications, for example? Let's start there.
Qualifications. Well, capping bases, and that's what do I think about? I can tell you what I think about Outfit Wars as a whole. It's something that I personally was not super motivated to participate in. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Outfit Wars, while it was a fun experience for us, I think continued Outfit Wars. Like, I know the devs were talking about once a month, that sort of a thing. I think that'll be detrimental to the atmosphere of Planetside. I think we already have to deal with enough toxicity um, as a player base, right? Planetide's pretty notorious for it. We have salty veterans and definitely a lot of strong personalities in the community that clash with each other quite frequently. And I think that while I'm not opposed to the idea of outfit wars, I think things like players kind of jumping ship and switching factions and bolstering the rank of one group while other groups are kind of left out in the dust, that sort of a thing. I don't want to name any group names in particular, but for example, choosing to let certain bases go undefended simply because they have one outfit's tag on them, and choosing to defend other outfit bases based on whoever's tag is on that base. I think that it creates a pretty negative environment that is ultimately, how do you say, it's ultimately detracting to the overall Planetside experience in the game, and pretty cancerous. But I will say that the actual experience of Outfit Wars itself was really fun. I think we're fortunate as a large outfit that we didn't have to worry so much about qualification. We didn't really have any coordinated efforts to go out and cap bases and, get to that gold rank or whatever. We just kind of did the same thing that we always did, ran our ops, had lots of successful base caps, and consequently we had enough points to be qualified for the bronze without even trying much. So we didn't really have to participate in or deal with any sort of those negative tactics. But I think if we kind of took a step forward forward and really tried to get in that gold bracket. I think ultimately would have led with a lot of competition between us and another TR Connery outfit, for example, and that could have really created some tension in the community and ultimately hurt Connery TR. So I think Outfit Wars was a great bonding experience for CIK. I think it was a great event that really boosted outfit morale. But I think for the future, the devs could go about making it more or less detrimental to the environment of the community, if that makes any sense.
Right, yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling the same way that you just so well articulated that the battle itself is pretty fun. I think everyone agrees on that asteroid map doing crazy things, but that there are some underlying stresses to the community. So I think you just articulated what so many people are so frustrated about very well.
Thank you.
So kind of going back to a more fun question here, what is your favorite play style? It doesn't even have to be your best, but like when you load into Planetside 2 and it's midnight and you just want to chill out, you're not going hard trying to win the alert. What do you play?
So I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different play styles. I used to really enjoy my Banshee Mozzie when I first got into the game. I know that's a meme among certain
Nice,
more.
nice.
I know it's a meme among more elite groups of players. He's a Banshee Mozzie main, that sort of a thing. But for the first couple hundred hours of playing Planetside, I did main my Banshee. I found the Mosquito very fun before I kind of got into a more cohesive play. But I could say confidently now that my favorite style of play is definitely Medic. The exact loadout that I'm running currently, I run a Saber with a Dragoon secondary. I got C4, my Grenade Bandolier, all that. People refer to Medic a lot of times as medium assault, and I think that's certainly true. Especially with the Saber 13, you can really land those headshots, and I think combat medics is something that pushes rely on, especially pubby pushes. I know CIK relies heavily on medics, but even more so amplified is that fact in a pubby platoon or a pubby fight in a biolab, especially. And I feel I can create the most influence as a single player on the map as a combat medic. And that's through obviously the ability to revive fallen friendlies, but ultimately I really enjoy assault rifles as well. I really enjoy the shield regen, or not the shield regen, the nano regen device here, being able to heal all my friendlies around me in a close proximity. I run combat surgeon, so I can keep that charged up as much as possible as I'm rezzing people. My charge for the regen device is going up as well, so I can pretty much heal all the players around me indefinitely. And in addition to being kind of like the backbone of any point hold or push or that sort of thing, I think combat medic, the tools that we have at our disposal, excuse me, like the assault rifles and the battle rifles here, especially, make us really deadly opponents to deal with. I think we're almost as deadly as a heavy assault, so definitely a good balance. I think I would be happy to make the trade-off that combat medic offers between heavy assault. Heavy assaults are real fun, but I don't play them at all because they don't really afford any benefit to the people around you. Versus you get that little bit of a trade-off that a combat medic gets, a little bit less tankiness, and you can really, really, really help the friendlies out around you and keep a fight going, especially as an individual player.
I'm sure all of the heavy assaults in CIK very much appreciate you medic mains. You guys do God's work. So now I have one final very serious question for you for this interview. Do you believe that whales used to live on Indar? Yes or no?
Um, yeah, maybe whales or some sort of maybe a fish. I don't know. We need to do
All
some
right.
further analysis. I think we can
Yes.
allocate some resources there in our next meet.
Yes, we will for sure. 50% of the CIK budget will go towards this new archaeology expedition. Thank you so much, Stroke, for stopping by for an interview in the beautiful sanctuary here, uh, looking down on Araxis behind us. This was StrokeTN from CIK. Like I said earlier, he is one of the officers and leaders of the outfit, a prominent figure in our community for sure. And have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.